Hey, Hardin County, I have something that I really like to share with you. It's a situation that came up that I didn't anticipate. And I want everybody to be aware of it so that you don't get kind of stuck in the same situation. I'm a huge advocate of sunshine laws, records requests, Open Meetings Act, and at the town hall meeting on Wednesday, I made it sound like this is so easy, it's not a big deal, you just give it a try, right? And I just didn't want the information to be out there that there are maybe some consequences that could be possible. I don't think that they should have happened, but it did happen. And so I want to share with you so that you can be aware. When I went into the office for the public meeting on Thursday, they I mean, the countertop's pretty clean. They have their kind of standard things, and there was a new document there. It was just a printout of an email from a personal citizen of Hardin County. And so I, of course, looked at it and realized that it was sort of kind of a public records request, not really, but kind of. And it had the person's name, phone number, all kinds of personal information on there. And I was concerned that maybe they didn't know that that document was out there for all public viewing. And so I contacted the person and let them know. Of course, they were quite upset, devastated that this information is kind of being flaunted or displayed for no apparent reason. There were no document, it was not a document request, so it wasn't like sometimes they may be like, okay, here's your document, right? But even then you could put it in an envelope, right? If you were like, okay, here's the person's name, the documents are all in the folder, and you're going to set it on the counter so that they can come pick it up anytime they want. That wasn't the case. It was just the email on display. And so I don't know how long it was there. Obviously it was there at the public meeting. And so the person was quite upset. They called in to ask to see if at least the sensitive information could be redacted, and marked out. They were told no and hung up on. They then proceeded to go to the courthouse and try to retrieve the paper because it was essentially their email, their paper, and was told that no, that was not the citizen's paper, that was the ownership of the commissioner's office, and if we remove the paper, then the paper would be reprinted and put back out on display. Again, I don't know what the purpose was of displaying that information or how it benefited the commissioner's office. It is being dealt with. It is in process. So I don't expect that it will ever happen, but I just think it's really important that if you send anything to a public entity, please be aware that that information could be requested, right? Like this is a special circumstance where nobody requested to see that information, and yet it was already provided, kind of like a public notice or something you'd put up on a bulletin board. I'm not sure. But just be mindful to do a public records request. It can be anonymous. So if you have a separate email or something that you don't want, like you can have a generic email and you just send it. You don't have to sign anything. You can just put in your request and they will respond back and forth to that email. And so that your identity can be secure. And, I hate that that's kind of the case of what maybe we're forced to look at, but there is a chance of retribution, possibly, if not. So the other thing that's really interesting is that in the Sunshine Manual, it talks about if you send your request in by email, it should come back to you in email. If you send it in on paper, it should come back to you on paper. So how this even went from an email to a paper document doesn't even necessarily make sense. So continue, search out public records for your local government. Just be aware that if you don't want public information to be announced, take that extra step. Make sure you clean up your documents, and keep on keeping on. We'll see you later.